This race has thrown up so many winners.
I've admitted defeat here, and I think she is going to win.
The big debate is, who would you side with at this stage?
I've finally seen the light of dragon symbols
Yeah.
People saying, he's not this, he's not that.
Can people give up with this horse now, please? Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our feature video this week. And it's a bit of a merge of two videos this week. We've got our feature, which is going to be discussion of what's happened over the weekend and lead that into Champions Day at Ascot, where a lot of the horses that were running will probably be targeted there. And then we're also going to do a preview of the first 2 days of the Doncaster Festival. We will have a weekend preview, but there's so much racing this week.
There's a lot.
And weekend, yeah, it's going to be very difficult to get it all into one video. So we're going to do the first 2 days in this video, and then we'll preview the rest of the Doncaster Festival, the Ledger, and all the racing from Ireland as well, which looks cracking. So we've got a really great weekend preview coming to you on Thursday. But we'll kick off with what's happened over the weekend. And let's start off with the big story and the big debate, and that's BAAEED, right? What did we make of BAAEED's performance in the Moulin? Because I thought he looked mightily impressive, considering November went off like I don't know how November went off like that. Stumbled out the stalls, hit the front, went 6 lengths clear, and made it very difficult for the rest of the jockeys to kind of catch up in the way that you traditionally see. You were never going to see BAAEED win by 5+ lengths in a race like that, in my opinion. It was a really interesting run race, very similar to the year before, where we saw Persian King take it up from the front, and it became a bit of an odd race, and Pinatubo couldn't quite get there. We remember that. What did you make of BAAEED's performance? A really difficult one to go through.
I thought it was a stellar performance. I think November was a bit of a kind of an outlier. She just went too fast.
Yeah.
Where the others just kind of forgot about her. I mean, if she was a tiny bit more with the rest of the field, then she could have actually made it a little bit quicker for them. But unfortunately, they did go at a crawl. You saw BAAEED was quite free early doors, but I think it was an absolute stellar performance. He couldn't have done anything more. I mean, let's not forget, 90 days ago, he made his debut at Leicester, and now he's won a Group 1 out in France. And you have so many people saying, he's not this, he's not that. 90 days ago, he had never raced on a racecourse. It is absolutely ridiculous. He's just won a Group 1. I mean, he beat Order of Australia by half a length less than Palace PIER. I mean, it's not really. I mean, if you look at your collateral form like that, I know Order of Australia was giving him more weight, but I still think he did it with ears pricked. He's very exciting. He remains very exciting. Have we learned anything more? Probably not. I think we haven't learned too much, just that he can fulfil his potential. And I think what was a testament to his class is that he strides and is bred to go a mile and a quarter.
That's it, yeah.
Of course, he's going to probably go a mile and a quarter in the future if he stays in training. That is next year.
Let's hope so.
But I mean, he recorded a penultimate furlong time of 10.7 seconds, which is fast, which was very quick.
I was listening to Jamie Lynch say about him, something like he was travelling at like 41 miles an hour. It equates to that, which is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and this is a colt who doesn't actually want to go a mile, who's not an out-and-out miler. So, I mean, for him to do that, I think is a testament to his class and how much he's learned in only 3 months. He's going to be learning a lot more and more with every run, and I think it is a mouth-watering prospect against Palace PIER.
Yeah, it really is, and they're both priced at 9-4 now. But it's the best prices via Odds Check Day. They're both best priced at 9-4 for the QE2. Now, what was said by Maureen Haggis after BAAEED's win was the fact that if the ground came up bottomless at Ascot on Champions Day, that they would skip there and go elsewhere. Now, just looking at it with regards to ground on Champions Day, so 2012 soft, 2013 soft, 2014 heavy, 2015 good to soft, 2016 good, and then 2017 to 2020 it's all been soft. So we'll have to see. I don't think the horse will run on soft ground. I think there has to be an element of good in the ground. Yeah. I think if it's good to soft, we might just see him go up against Palace PIER, but I don't think they'll take the risk. I mean, the big debate is, who would you side with at this stage? Do you side with Palace PIER, or would you be with BAAEED, who potentially has the potential to be one of the better horses we've seen in recent years?
Personally, I think they're very hard to compare, because Palace PIER is a champion. He's a 5-time Group 1 winner. He hasn't been beaten this year, but the only time he has been beaten in his career was in this race last year. So perhaps towards the autumn he doesn't perform as well. But I mean, from what we've seen so far, you have to be with Palace PIER. Again, it's the same old master versus apprentice kind of storyline. But I think, to be fair, I think the market's got it wrong. I'd probably price Palace PIER up at about 7-4 and BAAEED about 3-1.
I'm with you on that.
I don't think BAAEED's any kind of a price at 9-4. I think Palace PIER is a price because he's probably definitely going to go. but then BAAEED at 9-4 it is short.
I actually think for those who are massive fans of Palace Pier in this race, that BAAEED's kind of helped you out in terms of the market. I think it's given you a really nice price, BAAEED, for Palace Pier. I think that potentially 9-4 at the moment, and though we're a month and a half away, could actually be a fair price about this horse considering what he's done in the past. But it's going to be a really fascinating one. I think that's probably the best thing to put down in the comments today, who you're going to be with if they both turn up in the Q2, BAAEED or Palace Pier. Now we'll go on to another race on Champions Day, and we'll quickly discuss the sprinting division. That was Starman, who was beaten by Emirati Anna. A lot of people put this horse up as a great each way bet. I saw a lot of people mention this as a cracking each way bet. What do we make of Starman's performance? Did he have every chance, or do you think he potentially should have won that race?
Yes, I think he did have every chance. I mean, he was kind of a little bit tapped for tone, wandered a little bit under pressure, which he almost did in the July Cup. But I think what the Sprint Cup did was just reinforce the fact that he's maybe not as good as we thought he was. He doesn't have this grip over the 6 furlong division that we thought he did, and even given his conditions, he is beatable. Of course, the quick ground, they didn't water it in the end, which I think they did right, because it was the fastest time for the race's history. I mean, 50 odd years. And I think Emirati Anna, I mean, he's just at the top of his game. It's nice to see a sprinter at the top of his game like Emirati Anna. They finally turned a leaf with him. I was listening to them saying they finally actually learnt how to ride him, and of course it is paying dividends. And Starman is an interesting one, because now he's beatable on his own ground, and he's beatable if anything comes up good to soft or softer. So I mean, if you're looking at that champion sprint market, he's probably not the one for me.
Yeah, I think the division's really fascinating now, especially over the 6 furlong distance rather than the 5 furlong. But for the champion sprint at the moment, Starman is still your favourite, best price at 5-1. Dragon Symbol is best price 11-2, and you can actually get 12-1 about the rest of the field at the moment. With some bookmakers, you have to have a look around. I mean, I've been going on, we had our own post video a few weeks ago, I've been saying that Dragon Symbol, this could potentially be his big day. I know that he struggled to win this season, but has looked very good and been very consistent, and obviously what happened in the Commonwealth Cup was, you know, a bit unfortunate, but he's going to be back at Ascot. I actually think the horse is better on softer ground. I think we've seen the best of him on softer ground. I know Archie Watson has said that potentially the better ground would help this horse, but I think that potentially Dragon Symbol's going to turn up at Ascot, and I think he might be one of the bets of the day, actually. And a lot of people should put him in a double, potentially, maybe with Palace Pier. We'll have to wait and see. But would you be with... I don't think Starman's going to turn up, personally. I mean, we're going to have to go in those last, 9 years I've mentioned. It's going to have to be good ground, and it's only happened once. And I just don't think that's going to happen this year. So who would you be siding with now, taking Starman potentially out of the equation?
Well, now Starman's been beat, and we've seen he is beatable even given his conditions, and as you said, we're probably not going to get anything with good in the ground. I was looking at the long-term weather forecast, and we've got some kind of tropical rainstorm heading our way at the end of September, which is great. Oh, we all love that, don't we? But no, so I don't think it'll be bottomless, but I can see us going off soft, and if that's the case, Starman doesn't go. You've got the likes of Nahar and Kinross in there, and I couldn't really be anywhere near them, but I think there's actually 2 in there that I'm big fans of, both of them. I've finally seen the light with Dragon Symbol, Sam.
Thank you.
Seen the light.
Do you know what? I'm happy you have. I'm finally happy that you've agreed that I've talked sense on this channel, to be totally honest.
I didn't agree to that.
It's not just a Noshi Murphy ridden horse. I'm waiting for you to agree with alcohol free for the QE2 as well, but I can get one into you at least.
Yeah, no, especially now Starman's been beaten. Of course, he was third in the Nun 4, just behind Emirati Anna, and Emirati Anna's gone and did what he did in the Sprint Cup. I mean, any bit of rain is just going to aid his cause, isn't it?
Really,
I know you said it, and I think if anything, perhaps if he flops in the Flying 5, if that's where he's going to go this weekend, I think finally the return to 6 is going to pay dividends. We've been screaming about seeing him return to 6. We know 5 is too sharp for him, and I think testing conditions over 6, we saw it in the Commonwealth Cup. I think he's a cracking price at 11-2, sorry. But there's another one. And you're not going to like this. Art Power is 16-1, Sam.
Can people give up with this horse now, please? No. Please give up with this horse.
So, of course, he romped home last year at Royal Ascot, over 5 furlongs here.
Yep.
Then finished 4th in this last year, which wasn't the greatest renewal. Glenn Shiel obviously won Brando, was in second. I think one Master was third in the end. Was then third in the Diamond Jubilee. I think that's his best career start to date. I mean, he was drawn in the middle, completely away from the pace. Nahar was the next home from his side, about 3.5 lengths behind. I think that was actually a cracking bit of form. He's just kind of been toing and throwing since then. He was giving the 3-year-olds, including Dragon Symbol, £6 in the July Cup. He doesn't give them £6. I think he's only giving them 3 in this. And I think at 16-1, the return to Ascot, 16-1, Sam, is a big price. Whether you like it or not, 16-1 is a big price. And if he's going to have his day, it could come here.
Okay. Well, look, I'll just let you have that, but I have no reason to put up Our Power or give you any reason why you should be selecting Our Power, because I gave up with this horse at the end of last season, so I did believe the hype initially, but not anymore. It's all gone now for me.
I don't know if there's necessarily hype.
There was hype initially when this horse first ran. There was a lot of it, and it was a bit like Wind's Power, but Wind's Power has actually gone on and done a fair bit, don't get me wrong, but Art Power had similar hype after the runs that,
after
early
Ascot,
runs and Ascot, exactly. So it'll be interesting. Maybe 16-1 might be a nice price, but Jack and I are both in agreement that Dragon Symbol could be one of the better bets of the day on Champions Day at this stage. Let's move away from the race. Actually, before we do that, let's do my quick 30-second review of Champagne PF's recent run, because we have to do it every show. Yeah. Champagne PF ran the Lavazza Stakes at Ascot at the weekend and, well, somehow got third. I mean, the second Haggis horse got demoted to fourth, well, back in the field in that race for not weighing in correctly, but the horse got third but was bumped all over the show. I mean, I watched the run back multiple times. Shane Kelly came through, God knows what he came for, an absolute wall of horses. Got bumped all over the show. I don't think the horse would have won, but I think the horse would have finished a clear second, potentially, in that race. Be interesting to see if the mark stays the same with this horse, because if it does, there's every chance that Jack and I will be putting that horse up either in a feature video for a week run or a weekend preview.
He's clearly very well handicapped.
I do. I think he is still well handicapped. I'm hoping that I don't see a reason why they'll change the mark after that run. I really think they're keeping the same mark. So Champagne PF actually could become, I know it's an unhealthy obsession still, but could actually become a decent horse to follow.
Or a cliff horse to follow.
could do, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's move away from all of the weekend racing and let's start to get into the racing for the week. 3 races that we're going to be previewing, a Group 3 race on the Wednesday and then 2 Group 2s on the Thursday. And we'll kick off on Wednesday with the 325. It's the Group 3 Japan Racing Association Skepta Filly Stakes. It's a 7 furlong race for 3-year-olds and older. Just Beautiful is your favourite here at 7-2. Highfield Princess is 9-2. Loch Len 13-2. Statement 7-1. Double or Bubble 8-1. Potter Povo is 8-1. Wren's Breath 10-1 and 12-1. Bar those. Now, I think personally at the moment for this half of the preview, Just Beautiful might be one of my bets of these 3 races, because I just think we go back and we look at this horse's first 4 runs of the season. 1 or 4 looked fairly nice at that stage. Jumped from listed class into Group 1 class, and the Group 1 race that she ran in was the Falmouth. And I know that we bang on about this race, but this race has thrown up so many winners and looked so good throughout the season. I know that Snow Lantern probably didn't run to the best at the weekend, but with regards to the race, I mean, the horse ran incredible. She ran 6th in that race. And we go back and look at the form of, like, Lavender's Blue has even come out of that race and won a Group 2. It's absolutely mad. And I think even the horse that finished dead last has finished 2nd in a decent Group 3 or something. They're all coming out and doing pretty well. So as much as I've kind of discarded horses from the Falmouth, I think now's the time to start siding with them. And I think that, Just Beautiful should be the one to go and win this weekend. And also from the Falmouth, I think that Alcohol Free is going to be the one to follow in the QE2. But I'm going to keep going on. But yeah, the Falmouth is a very good race, and Just Beautiful at 7-2 I think might be quite a nice price, Jack.
Who finished 5th in the Falmouth?
Oh, here we go.
Who was it?
Go on. You're
going to have to remind me.
No, I'm not going to remind you of your favourite horse.
Certain Primabaccia.
Here we go. Yeah, the one. There have been some horses in the race that haven't really turned up since and done what they should have done, but there have been some decent runners from that race. Pretty Gorgeous been another one that's flopped a bit actually from that race as well.
That's true.
Who would you be with in this race at this stage?
This race is an absolute mess. 7 furlong Group 3 fillies race. I think have just been all over the place. You look at, I think it was the Oak Tree where we had a 16-1 win. I think Last Empire went and won at Goodwood. They usually throw up the odd kind of shock, and you're almost going to get 10-3, 4-1 the field, which is always good. Wren's Breath is so interesting for me. Of course, Henry de Bromhead. Yeah. You got to take note of that. Holly Dawes being chopped up.
I saw that.
Only had the 2 runs. On the first run, she finished 2nd, but pulled 5 lengths clear of 3rd. 3rd and 1st both haven't come out since then. The time was okay, don't get me wrong, but it was her next run, which was actually quite a nice run over 6 furlongs at Naas. Now, that win at Naas, she was outpaced at halfway down the near side. She went 150-1 in play as well, so if someone got on that, fair play. But she absolutely flew home. She was definitely still very inexperienced. She should build on that. And from a time perspective, it was the quickest run over that distance for 2 years, and I think that's quite a nice bit of form. If you look just before the 2 years, it was quicker than the likes of Siskin, and there was a couple of others in there as well who were quite well regarded. I think Peaceful as well.
Yep.
So yeah, not some bad fillies and colts in there who she's run quicker than. So I think on her third run, of course, she's going to attract a lot of support because it's the Henry de Bromhead. I think the Irish lot are going to definitely get on board, and I think they definitely should, because hopefully. She's I think she's the second most unexposed runner actually. There's a second, someone having a second run in there as well. But I think at 10-1, that's not a bad price each way.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, just beautiful. 7-2 favourite for myself. There's a shock. And Jack selected one at a double figure odds, 10-1 Redden's Breath for the Henry de Bromhead team with Holly Doyle on board. Now we'll go on to the Thursday now, and we go to the 240, which is the May Hill Stakes over the mile, Group 2 for 2-year-old fillies. Inspiral is best price, is your 10-11 favourite here. Albula is 6-1. Speak is 8-1. Saisei is 9-1. Suspicious and Wild Beauty 10-1 and 12-1. Bar these. Inspiral is a favourite for the 1,000 guineas at this stage, Jack. However, I would say what she's beaten might not be potentially the best opposition that we've seen, but she has beaten everything very nicely. Do we think she's just going to go and win here?
Yeah. I've done the classic try and look to get her beat. I think she's about 4-6, 8-13 now. But yeah, it's not easy. I've admitted defeat here, and I think she is going to win. It's definitely one to kind of sit back and watch. I was trying to find something in behind that might like a sounder surface, but of course we've got rain forecast on Thursday, so will I be jumping in a couple of days before to get on something that likes decent ground? Not at all. If I was going to, at the moment, it'd probably be Albula without Inspiral. Of course, that price isn't available at the moment. But if you can get threes about that, I think that's an okay price. I mean, she was pretty impressive on debut when she won. She flopped last time out in Group 3 company, but she's bred to like this firm ground. I mean, I think she's related to quite a lot of US relatives and who have done very well on firm ground out in Santa Anita. I saw in Grade 2 company. So if she does get this firm ground, then I think she could potentially finish behind Inspiral, but I think it's going to be the Inspiral show.
I think so, yeah. I mean, one thing to say is that 8 out of the last 12 winners of this race haven't actually had a rating. So Albula, Speak and Suspicious would be the 3 interesting contenders in here, and you've given a decent mention there for Albula. But Rafe Beckett's horse is also, that Suspicious has been a course and distance winner. Both of those, I think Speak and Suspicious are both 10-1, Albula 6-1. But 9 of the last 12 winners have come from the top 3 in the market. So it looks like, you know, someone like Inspiral, Albula are going to be the ones to beat in this. And Gosden obviously won this race last year with Indigo Girl, who unfortunately hasn't really come out and performed this season, which has been a massive shame because we had high hopes for her. But I'd be intrigued to see how Inspiral gets on here. Inspiral's been winning both her races in really decent style, and you'd like to think that she will go and win this fairly easily. So Inspiral potentially one of the strong fancies of the weekend for myself and Jack if the ground comes up on the right side.
But we won't be having a bet because
we won't be. No, we will be leaving that alone. But yeah, it would be probably one of the ones that a lot of people are confident on this week. And then let's go on to the final race we'll preview on the Thursday, which is the Park Hill Filly Stakes, the 3:15. It's Group 2 over a mile and 3/4. Free Wind is 2-1. Yes, 9-2. Savour Forest 5-1. Tribal Craft is 11-2. Silence Please 6-1. Urban Artist 7-1. Golden Pass 8, and Mighty Blue for the Joseph O'Brien team is 17-2, and it's 12-1 and bigger. The rest of them, Jack, based on Free Wind's success in a Group 3 in France recently, do you think the market's got this completely right?
Yeah, she's definitely a worthy favourite, but it's a big but. She's very short. She's obviously been very progressive, but she's been beaten by one horse this season, and that is reopposing today, and that's Golden Pass, who is 4 times the price.
I know,
I can't get away from that. I know Golden Pass was very disappointed in the Geoffrey Freer Stakes last time out, but Louis Stewart was on board, and now James Dorr returns, who was on board for her success at Newmarket. Of course, she's still giving Free Wind quite a lot of weight, but I think there's another £1 in her favour, which probably won't make too much difference. If Free Wind is going to keep progressing, she'll take this. But I think James Dorr back on board, Golden Pass with hopefully a sound surface to go on again. I think 9-1's not a bad each way price.
Okay, go on past for yourself. I really like Savour Forest in here. I put the horse up for the Ledger. It doesn't look like they're going to go for the Ledger. This is obviously a much easier race for the horse. I put the horse up at 50-1 for Legend, but Callum Shepherd is already booked to ride her in this race. I mean, she's going to love the going. That was one thing I was hopeful if this horse went for a Ledger, is that we did get good ground, because this horse has hit the line well in every one of her races, and I just think that staying this extra 2 furlongs is going to be absolutely no issue for this horse. And even when this horse has run on soft ground, this horse has really plugged away. We look at the run of the Epsom Oaks, like even on the softer ground, she has plugged away. But I think, you know, with having this firmer surface, I think that's going to be a lot easier for this horse. And I think there was one day where Savour Forest had beaten Saida. Now Saida for the Charlie Apple team, I think it's like half a length that Saida was beaten by Savour Forest. Free Wind has actually beaten Cider by over 2 lengths. Now, that would be the main worry in here, but obviously both are kind of being tested over a further distance on Thursday, and it'd be fascinating to see. But I think at the prices, I think at 5-1, for those of you who don't mind an each way bet to nothing in some ways at 5-1, I'd probably say Savour Forest might be a decent bet. So it'd be Savour Forest for myself, and Jack will be with Golden Pass in that race on the Thursday. Did you want to give a best bet for yourself from the first 2 days? Have you got one that you'd probably say is your best bet? I won't get a next best, but have you got one that you'd probably say is your strongest fancy?
I'm looking forward to the 2-year-old race, the sales race on Wednesday. Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday?
It's one of the days, yeah.
Yeah, it's on Thursday, I think. I'm still a big fan of Evergiven, who won at York and at Goodwood as well, at Glorious Goodwood. But I think she's still got more in the tank, and as a 3-year-old, I think improvement's still going to be there. So I think 5-1's not a bad price against some of the Aidan O'Brien hot pots that they're up against. So I think 5-1's okay about Evergiven at the moment.
Evergiven for yourself, and my best bet will come in that 7 furlong race, the Group 3 on the Wednesday, and that'll be Just Beautiful at 7-2 with SDS booked on board. And we are going to be back previewing the rest of the action at Doncaster along with Irish Champions Weekend. It really is going to be spectacular. I cannot wait for that Champions Stakes. I really can't. Yeah. And especially to hear your thoughts on Hurricane Lane as well in the Ledger and how good potentially he could be. But yeah, we'll be back with you on Thursday with our selections for those races. If you aren't subscribed, do subscribe. And if you are enjoying this content, do give it a like. And we look forward to seeing you for our next video. Thanks for watching.